Hello friends, I'm Aliza and today my friends and I are going to seize this golden opportunity to share with you some tips about directed writing. So Chavi, do you have some tips for us?
Of course, Alisa. First of all, it is very important to identify the task at hand. That is, what do you have to do? Is it a speech, a letter, an article, or a report? This will influence your writing and the formalities will vary depending on the task. For example, if you are writing an informal letter, the tone will be lighter and more familiar as compared to when you are writing a formal letter. The advice that I can give you is to learn your format well. And do not forget to include the heading, the address, and the signatures where necessary. But most importantly, do make sure that you have covered all the content points as they carry equal marks.
And Afshin, can you enlighten us further about letter writing?
Of course, Alisa. A student should compose a short piece of writing which should be informative. So, before you start, you can draft your ideas to ensure that you have covered all the bullet points as mentioned by Chavi. Do not forget that formal and informal letter writing have different formats. So, read your task carefully.
And Hanya, what about speech writing?
I think for speech writing, you need to read the instructions carefully. Maybe you could underline some main points so that you know to whom you are addressing. It is important to greet your audience properly. You should be polite and respectful. For example, if it is in the morning, you say good morning. If it is in the evening, you say good evening. And if you have to welcome your guest, you do so. Also, you should adopt a conversational tone. And don't forget to insert the inverted commas. And lastly, for the conclusion, don't forget to write "Thank you for your attention." And don't forget to close the inverted commas.
And Tresta, we would be very pleased to hear the tips you have for article writing.
So Aliza, when writing an article, a newspaper article, the heading becomes a very important part of it. So it needs to be short, pertinent, and very informative. When proceeding to the first paragraph, this paragraph needs to consist of good information. That is, when it happened, how it happened, who was concerned, and you need to explain the situation. And the rest of the paragraph, you can develop your consecutive ideas. You can also involve opinions and statements of people. This will bring an authenticity to your work.
So Kushi, for the final segment, do you have some additional advice that you can share with us in order to aid us to improve our directed writing?
Thank you, Aliza. My advice would be to proofread your work at the end. Also, do look for grammatical and punctuation mistakes. Similarly, do check for omissions as well. But lastly, do respect the word limit. Don't forget that you should be writing 200 to 300 words. Thank you.
Dear friends, we really hope that the tips we shared today have been very useful and that you would make really good use of them. And we wish you best of luck for exams.
Hello everyone, I'm here today with my classmates and we're here to give you some tips and tricks on how to improve your English for your exams. I'm here today with Sahil, Ayush, Karunesh and Manish. And now to you, Ayush.
Thank you, Karim. Hello guys, I'm here to give you some tips on how you can improve your oral English. Firstly, a common problem students have while doing oral English is stage fright. Stage fright can be defined as having a fear speaking in front of a large audience or only in front of two invigilators. One way to tackle this is by taking part in extracurricular activities or clubs. For example, I used to take part in theatre, and the neat thing about this is that once you're used to speaking in front of 100 people, you're no longer scared to speak in front of only two invigilators. Additionally, you can speak in front of your friends, peers, or even family members while only using the English language. This will make you more comfortable with the language itself. For those who play video games at home and use chat rooms to communicate with their friends, you can speak in English. This will help you a lot. And now, I will leave the floor to Sahil.
Hello everyone, Sahil's here. I will be elaborating on reading for ideas and how you can score the highest possible marks. Reading for ideas is a 25-mark question, including content points on 12 marks, summary writing 10 marks, and the last question on opinions and fact 3 marks. First, what I believe that truly works for me is that the student should go through the question first. This way, they will be able to really grasp what is required for the exam. Secondly, getting on the content points question, this is where lifting from the passage is allowed and the students will not have to use their own words. For this part, I strongly suggest students to do active reading and visualization. That is, instead of only going through words, try to comprehend the passage. And now, let's see what Gibran has to offer to us.
Thank you, Sahil. So I'll be talking about 2 points in the papers. The first is the summary, and the second is the reading for meaning part of the paper. The first part, the summary, is relatively straightforward. It simply consists of taking the points that you have gained from the previous exercise and reformatting them into a block of text. For this exercise, it helps to read frequently and write down a summary of what you have read. What you read can be from magazines, books, or even online. The second part, reading for meaning, can initially seem daunting. However, it can be made much simpler by simply breaking the task into a few basic steps. The first step is to read the questions briefly. This gives you an idea of what is expected of you. The second step is to read the text in depth. Once you have read the text, you will already have an idea of your answers because you have read the questions previously. The third step is to answer the questions. I find that if you have any difficulties, it is best to leave the questions until the end if you have the time. For the meaning and effect questions, I find that putting yourself in the situation helps. For example, if you get a sentence like, oblivious to the words of the rector, Sam was only thinking about what his mother would say. It helps to put yourself in the situation. How would you feel if you were there? Once you do this, it becomes very easy to answer the questions because they are relevant to you. And to answer these questions properly, you need a vast repertoire of vocabulary. And my friend Karunesh will give you advice on this.
Thank you. Hello friends, I'm Karunesh. As mentioned, in order to improve your vocabulary, learning a new word a day makes your writing better. Maybe keeping a vocabulary copybook and writing down new words. This can also help you for the descriptive task, which requires you to give details about the person, a place, or an event. You must find a way to express the tone, the atmosphere, or if describing a person, mention his personality. You can use imagery to give a better picture of what you're describing.
Indeed, not to forget, there's also the sense of hearing. You can use sentences such as the clattering of plates, the loud bustling crowd on the beach.
Yes, Sahil, we can also describe the sense of touch. For example, when an object is smooth, we can use the simile as smooth as silk.
Indeed, we can also add an additional dimension to essays by describing the senses of smell and taste. For example, for the sense of smell, we could say, the delicate fragrance of his perfume lingered in the air. For the sense of taste, we could say, the taste of rice and lentils brings me back to my childhood. And now to you, Manish.
Thanks, Julian. So, hi guys, today I will be talking about how you can improve your narrative writing skills. So, first of all, always make sure that your essay begins with a strong lead. That is, you can start right in the middle of an action or by using a dialogue to create a specific mood.
Yes, Manish. For example, when describing anger, instead of saying John is angry, we can say John was fuming with anger.
Dear students, you can also use famous sayings. For example, I came, I saw, I conquered.
To end your essay on a high note, you can finish with an idiom. For example, curiosity killed the cat. That's it from us today. We hope you enjoyed the video, and we also hope that you gained some valuable tips and tricks. Thank you for your attention.